Hello and welcome back. My name is Boetic and this is my survival world. In the last couple episodes, one of the things we've been doing a lot of building, we've been doing some exploring and that kind of thing. So I think what I'm going to do for this episode and maybe the next couple is some redstone builds for us. And this time we're going to kind of take a look at the easy, simple early game automated farms. So in this one, we're going to do a quick and easy melon and pumpkin farm. We're going to do the farm piece first, and then I'm going to show you two different collection methods that I like to use to get the melons and pumpkins into chest. So let's get started on that now. So what we need, we're going to need obviously melon and pumpkin seeds. We're going to need some glass to contain the melons and pumpkins when we break them, a light source, water, stairs to go inside the hole we make for the water to flood the stairs so that we can make sure that the cropland has water. We're going to need some redstone dust, some pistons to break the melons and the pumpkins, and some observers to see when the melons and pumpkins grow. So I'm going to go ahead and here, we'll just do this the easy way. We'll grab all of that, come over here. So there's a couple different ways you can build this farm. I actually like doing it in a 5x5 section. You can do it all the way up to a 9x9, but 5x5 I think is great for the single player survival worlds. You really don't need thousands and thousands of melons and pumpkins. They're great for trading, but you can only trade so much. So this is what we're going to start with here. So let's come in here. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and go into the center of your 5x5 section here and put your stair, and then we're going to put the water in. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep the water from going down through the bottom. And then we're going to go ahead and hoe up all of this here. All right, and now we can go ahead and get our melons and pumpkins planted. What I like to do is if you're doing a 5x5 like this, if you start off with the melons or the pumpkins and you do every other one there, and then you're also going to do them here and on the end here. And what that's going to do is give you 6, in this case, melons, and they're spread out across 3 rows here. And those can grow here, here, or here, and that kind of thing. So next we're going to grab our pumpkin seeds and we're going to offset them from those melons. And they're going to go like that. That way, and we're going to bone meal these here in just a second. So it's a little easier to see. But that makes them all offset, and it gives us the same number of melons and pumpkins on here. So all right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and put observers looking down at each one of those. So we come over here, and on each one of the plants we just set up an observer looking down. And it's kind of annoying, but we can do it. Oh, that one's already grown a little bit. All right. And the last one here. Let's see if I can get it from there. Nope, can't. Get a little closer. All right, there we go. Okay, so now that we've got all those observers, this one's facing the wrong way. There we go. Now that we've got all those observers in, they should all be looking down at the plants, and they are. Now we need to go in and we need to place a piston, and those pistons all need to be facing down towards the plant, or towards next to the plant there, just like that. So I'm just going to go around the edge here. That's one of the nice things about getting a little section cut out around this farm like I have here. Gives you a little better access to those. You still need to go in and get the 4 in the middle there, and I will do that. Let me see if I have some wood over here. I think I do. Do I have wood on me? I do, but I don't know if I have enough to make a trapdoor. I don't. Okay, so let's come over here and let's see if I can get in there. Yes, all right. Good. No, they're not facing the right way. All right, I'm gonna go get a trapdoor so I can crawl down under there. All right, I've got a trapdoor here, and now if I just come over here, I'm gonna put some dirt down. I'm just gonna set that trapdoor right there, come up, and it will push me down, and now it'll be easier to place these here. Go over and grab that guy, place that one there, place that one there, place that one there. All right, so now you can see all of the observers are facing down towards the plant, and you've got the pistons coming down to where the melon or pumpkin is going to grow. The next thing we need to do is go ahead and come up here and take our redstone, and on every one of the observers, place redstone, and that will power the pistons. So when a observer sees a change, the piston will come down. And the final thing that we need to do, I like to go ahead and place a light source right there in the middle of the farm. That does a couple things. First, it helps light up everything because everything will grow better when there's light. And the other thing it will do is keep the melons and pumpkins, when they get broken, from going into that block. So go ahead and break that. I am also going to go ahead and use some bone meal on these. You don't have to do this piece. It will just grow up on their own. But if I go ahead and use some bone meal, you can see the pistons firing and how that process works. And then also it will allow us to start seeing that we're getting a few items out of it. And as these grow, one of the things that's going to happen is the side pieces here will turn into regular dirt. That's what the melons and pumpkins are growing on. That's totally fine. And now that we're getting towards the end here, you can totally start to see how this is working. Okay, so that's great. We've got the farm piece of it working now. Now we need to set up a collection, a way to collect these. And as you're seeing the last piece here, let's go ahead and add glass all the way around. And what that's going to do, this doesn't have to be glass. You can make it any block you want. But what that's going to do is keep the melons and pumpkins contained inside the farm, so that when we set up our collection piece, it will be able to know where to get them from. So there's two different ways that I like to set up a collection for this farm. The first one is using just a regular minecart with hopper with rails, and then moving it over to, let's say, here, and collecting it that way. So let's start off with that here. And so I've got a section here. One of the things I always like to do anytime I'm going to be putting down redstone or rails, I like to put some wool down under it, and that's so that if I'm ever digging from the bottom side, I can see those. I can see the wool, and it's not as easy to break as like stone if I've got a pickaxe or something like that. But it's something that I can like know it doesn't occur in the wild and that kind of thing either. So, all right. So the first thing I'm going to do first, you need a base right below the farm here. I am going to go through and put redstone blocks here. Let me make one more. And that's going to power the powered rails for us. And so next, we're going to take one of our building blocks, any block you want, and we're going to come right over here to the end. We're going to put it right there, and that block needs to be powered. So I'm just going to take I'm going to take a lever, and I'm just going to put it on the side of that block and power it. So we're going to start off in this corner with a powered rail, and then we're going to use a regular rail. Go ahead and put another powered rail here on top of the redstone, and then regular rail, regular rail, regular rail, and we're going to kind of snake this through all of this, putting regular rails where the regular rails need to go, and then putting powered rails on top of the redstone. So we'll just keep snaking this around. Oh, that's wrong. Go grab that one. Keep snaking this along, and now we're going to start bringing this up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and sleep. So now the minecart's going to travel across everything under there, sucking in all of the melons and pumpkins from the top. And we're just going to bring the minecart up to, let's say here. And I'm going to put down, here, I'm just going to do a chest like this. So we'll just do a chest here. We'll go ahead and do a hopper going into that chest. And then we will need not a hopper. We need a block there. Let's go ahead and put dirt, and then on top of that, a building block. And so we're going to come up. Actually, I'm going to come up one more here. Let's grab another piece of wool, go up, and this is going to be a powered rail. And then coming off the back here, let me grab some more building blocks. Coming off the back here, we need to do a couple of things. We're going to first put down the wool, and then we're going to use a comparator to know when there's items inside this hopper. That comparator is going to go into a regular block, and it's going to power a redstone torch. So anytime something's in that hopper, the comparator is going to read the value of the hopper and then power the redstone torch. The redstone torch is going to power the block here. We need to put a block on top of our comparator, and then we're going to put a repeater on top of that block. So if there's power coming through this, it's going to turn off our redstone torch, which is going to depower this block, which is going to turn off our repeater, which will turn off the power on this block, which will turn off our powered rail there. And so let's go ahead and show. So what's going to happen, we're going to put the minecart with hopper on top of this powered rail, and it's going to start going. it's going to go all the way through here, come up here, and it's going to stop on top of this hopper until it is empty, until the minecart's empty, and then it's going to go again. So let's go ahead and go through. You'll see it picked up all of the items from the farm. Come up here, it's going to stop. It's unloading all of its items into the chest here. And then when it's done, that powered rail is going to get powered and it's going to send it back off again. So that's a real easy way to have a collection system set up on this farm. And that cart's just going to go and go until there's nothing else to pick up. And that's a really good way to do it. A couple of downfalls to this system. First of all, you've got a hopper move, or you've got a minecart moving the whole time, which, depending on lots of different factors, minecarts can randomly stop and all of that. So that's not always an awesome solution. But minecarts don't cause near as much lag as something like a hopper and that kind of stuff in your world. So, yeah, that's one of the options for collecting here. It works great. But I've got another option here that we can show you that is just using hoppers and then using a little item elevator to get the items up. So let's go through that real quick now. This is a completely finished farm at this point, so you don't have to use the hoppers or anything like that, but I wanted to make sure to show two different options there. So I'm going to go ahead and break down the rails and all of that and get ready with the hoppers. All right, now that I've got all of the rails taken out of there, I'm going to go ahead and break this chest. So we need some wool, same reason as the other time. I like to put redstone on top of wool so that I know if I'm digging up. And for this one, we just need some observers. We need some droppers, 2 redstone repeaters, redstone dust, a comparator, and some chests, and a bunch of hoppers. So this one, you really need to have an iron farm before building it, but it'll work. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and I'm going to set my first, let's start off by figuring out where we want to bring this up. So I'm going to go ahead and break these blocks. And let's say right here is where we're going to come up. I'm going to go ahead and put down wool here. And let's do the first dropper here. And then we want to bring everything up to this level right here. So I have hoppers going all the way up to where I want my items. I'm going to go ahead and just put a chest there. This could be a chest. This could be a hopper. This could be a lot of different things. Anything that can have items shot into it. And then what we're going to do is, starting right here, we're going to run hoppers into there, one into there, and then we're going to run all of our hoppers into that right here underneath this farm. So we're just going to run everything that way, and we're going to do that. And we're going to do the same thing here, run everything that way. And same thing, one into there. And I'm going to go ahead and place wool here because that will annoy me. But we'll go ahead and shift click and hopper shift. That way we're not going into the hopper, but we're placing the hoppers. So now all of these have hoppers under them. And the reason that's going to work is the farmland here, or the tilled soil, a hopper will suck an item through it. And when the piston fires, it goes all the way down and it pushes the items back into the tilled soil there. So the hoppers are going to pull those items down through the tilled soil, and all of them should, if I've placed all the hoppers right, all of the items should be right here, and they are. Okay, so that's good. I need to widen this out one more. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read with a comparator coming out of that first dropper, and those are all droppers. So that's going to tell us when there's something inside this dropper, and we're then going to take, so this is going to push out a power level for however full it is, right? And so we don't want to know, we don't care how full it is. It should push out a maximum level of power. That's what the repeater does. And so from here, we just need to wrap this in redstone. So that starts our clock. And then the other thing we can do, put that there. And if we put another repeater right here, that's going to power the block right here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll just use some wool. So what that's doing is that's powering this block. I need to go sleep again real quick. All right, so what we've done is we've powered this block, and each time this block's getting powered, it's firing this dropper. This dropper is then putting the items up into this dropper. So now what we need to do is we need to read anytime that fires with a comparator here. And I'm going to put the comparator on top of this repeater. And so that's going to then fire every time that this fires, and a single observer can make 3 droppers fire with 1 pulse. So I'm going to take all the items out of here, and what's going to happen now is we've got this clock that's making the bottom dropper fire, that's moving item into this item, into here, which is then, because this repeater turns on, this observer sees that. This observer, if I have that facing the right way, it needs to be pointed. It needs to be observing that. So the signal should go that way. So this observer sees that repeater fire. This observer sees that observer fire, and it will then cause this dropper and this dropper to move the items into this chest. So if we just drop all of these melons and pumpkins here, you'll see everything kind of start firing. And if we look right here, all the items are ending up in this chest. The other really nice thing about this setup is it's pretty quiet. Unlike the setup on the with the rails, you've got a minecart going the whole time. It's real loud. This is pretty quiet because hoppers firing into other hoppers don't make a sound unless they don't have an item in them. So, and you'll see all of our items are up here. We can check these other droppers, and you'll see that our item elevator here worked pretty well. So, yeah, that's another really good way of moving items. So yeah, and we've got all of our items here. Once this fills up completely, just like in the other example that I had, you don't want, you're going to need to build some kind of storage system setup once you get the items into a chest, because that chest is going to fill up and then no items are going to go into it and your system's going to back up. So just a single chest won't be enough here. I don't know the exact rates of this farm. I didn't come up with this design by any means. It's something I've found around, but I like to build it. It's the one I always use, and thought it would be good to see a couple different ways to collect items from it. So just fired again. We'll see a couple more items come in here. So yeah, it's working well, and now I don't have to worry about harvesting the melons and pumpkins over there every time they come out, I can just come over here and grab what I need to go trade with my villagers. So, yeah, you can then put any kind of design you want around this. The big thing is you don't want to break any of the redstone on top of this, but it's a small footprint, so it's easy to put a building around it, and then you can build a storage area inside that building as well, that kind of thing. So, all right, well, I think that's going to do it for this melon and pumpkin farm. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like for me. I really appreciate that. Subscribe for more videos like this. I've really enjoyed this world, and I hope you are too. Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Have a great day, y'all.